Coming up, problems arise with the $29 million sale of Mercy Hospital. And later, don't just fly by the Iowa City Municipal Airport, there's a new mural to check out.
Cade McNamara announces his plans for next season.
It's time to get your boots ready for predicted snow ahead.
All that and more coming up on this Friday morning edition of DITV News.
Don't go anywhere, DITV News starts right now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM. I'm Ashley Wheel.
And I'm David Consuelos.
Wednesday afternoon, an Amber Alert was issued for a 14-year-old Nina Williams. Luckily, just hours after the Amber Alert went out, she was found 2 states away in Hammond, Indiana. She is said to be nonverbal and autistic, and the suspect was her own mother, who does not technically have legal custody over her. She has been found. This incident is still under investigation. Iowa recently spent $1.93 million on a deployment of Iowa National Guards to the U.S.-Mexico border. These troops were sent under Operation Lone Star to help Texan officials secure the area. This is after a growing amount of encounters as the nation is seeing the most it's ever seen so far. The mission was paid for with leftover federal funds from Iowa's COVID-19 Recovery Act under the American Rescue Plan Act. Now we're getting ready for Halloween weekend. It sounds like there's going to be a lot going on this weekend. Later in the show, we'll get to that. But it also seems like it might be a little rainy. Grace was saying in the headlines it might be snow.
Yeah, Ashley, this whole past week, I've been having to grab my rain jacket that I've actually incorporated into my Halloween costume for this weekend.
So smart. We'll send it out to DITV's Grace Lothrop to see if we'll need to be having those umbrellas as well while we head out.
Thanks, Ashley. I'm currently standing right outside where it is 56 degrees. Thank goodness it's going to be nice today because tomorrow it's predicted to be 32 degrees. So be sure to bring your heavy jackets if you're going outside this Halloween weekend. And it's about time to get your snow boots ready as snow is approaching us here on Sunday with a low of 23 degrees. Luckily, the snow is not predicted to last long and we will see sunny skies for the rest of the week. Monday through Wednesday will have an average high of 40 degrees and Thursday will reach up to 48 degrees. I will recommend soaking in this last bit of warmer weather and I'll send it back to you, Ashley.
The son of Fran McCaffrey, Jack McCaffrey, has received his punishments after being found guilty for failing to yield to a pedestrian in a car crash back in May. Evidence has shown that the 17-year-old was completely sober and not on his cell phone at the time of the crash. As a result, he has been fined $1,000 and a 180-day license suspension. The sale of Mercy, Iowa City to a Texas-based Preston Hollow community capital has stalled. We have DITV's Ryan Lynch live outside Mercy Hospital with an update on this transaction.
Yes, Ashley. Disagreements on how to cover Mercy's operating losses have paused its sale after Preston Hollow won the bidding war against the UI to purchase the bankrupt hospital for $29 million. About $2 million of the bid was meant to cover operating losses during the hospital's transition period. The disagreement for covering operating losses stems from undefined terms in the auction transcript. Preston Hollow says the operating losses will be determined with consideration of funds from Mercy. Mercy says the operating losses will be determined without any contribution on their end. Preston Hollow filed a court motion for a judge to review the auction transcripts and define the areas of disagreement, saying Mercy is attempting to impose further financial obligations on the company. The hearing for the issue is set for Monday at 1 o'clock. Back to you, Ashley.
Thanks, Ryan. And this fall, the University of Iowa introduced a new embedded counselor dedicated to serving veterans and active duty service members on campus. Chuck Zander is an Army National Guard combat veteran with 20 years of experience in the mental health field. He is the first embedded counselor dedicated to veterans being offered in the whole Big Ten. Xander has already seen about 20 to 30 students in his short time as an embedded counselor.
And you don't really see a lot of combat veterans nowadays, especially working in Chuck's line of work. So the fact that we have an embedded counselor is a great opportunity for a lot of veterans who have seen combat, who kind of don't have a lot of people to relate to.
Xander's office is located in the Iowa Veteran Education Transition Support Office in Calvin Hall. In Lewiston, Maine, on Wednesday night, a mass shooting took place. This has so far claimed the lives of 18 people. Only a few hours after the shooting, authorities were able to identify a suspect. We'll send it out to DITV's Jordan, who has updates live in the newsroom. What has been released from this so far?
Well, Ashley, so far, Maine authorities have identified the suspect as 40-year-old Robert Card. Card, who has been in the Army Reserve since 2002, works as a petroleum supply specialist as well as a trained firearm instructor at a National Guard facility in Saco, Maine. Over the summer, when his unit was deployed to a West Point training camp, police were called on Card after he started, quote, behaving erratically, unquote, and his brother's wife claims that he began hearing voices after he was fitted for a hearing aid.
Have there been updates on the search for Card?
Well, the manhunt initially began with a photo of Card in the bowling alley that was shot up, and then a vehicle of interest was found, which was eventually confirmed to also be Card's. And this led to officials entering a house at Card's last known location, where they looked for anything that they could find to potentially give a motive to the shootings. And as of last night, Maine law enforcement has surrounded Card's house again without actually knowing whether he was in there or not. And as of this morning, they still have not located Card. Card has survival skills training and has a knowledge of the surrounding woods. Authorities are warning people to stay in place if they see Card. And several school districts around the Lewiston area are closed today as Card is still at large. Back to you, Ashley.
After a long process, the new Speaker of the House of Representatives has finally been elected.
Mr. Speaker, I offer a privileged resolution to notify the Senate of the election of Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House of Representatives and ask for its immediate consideration.
Mike Johnson, a representative from Louisiana, was elected in a 220 to 209 vote on Wednesday. Johnson was the fourth candidate to be up for the vote after Representatives Steve Scalise, Jim Jordan, and Tom Emmer were voted down in Congress.
The challenge before us is great, but the time for action is now, and I will not let you down.
As Speaker, Johnson has led the House into passing a resolution to defend Israel and condemn Hamas.
I feel excited that Mike Johnson's the guy that can bring us together and get us back focused on what we said we would do.
Despite the lengthy process to elect a speaker, some are concerned over Johnson's anti-LGBTQ and anti-abortion beliefs.
Who I look forward to getting to know, but who by press accounts and from what I've been able to find online about his record is far more conservative than any recent speaker.
President Joe Biden and other Democrats have stated that they are looking forward to working together with Johnson. In March, a large mural was painted by a University of Iowa graduate to bring attention to the Iowa City Municipal Airport. DITV's Assistant News Director Johnny Veltman has more on the story behind the mural and what its impact has been to the airport.
The Iowa City Municipal Airport has gone under the radar by the community. In an attempt to draw interest, the airport had University of Iowa alumni Jenna Brownlee paint a 300-foot-long mural.
This is a way to get those non-aviation community members to maybe come down to the airport, see the mural, and at the same time learn a little bit more about what's happening at the Iowa City Airport.
The mural Jenna painted right behind me stretches out an entire hangar and covers over 100 years of aviation history here in Iowa City.
So we settled upon, it's a visual timeline that highlights the milestones throughout the airport's rich history. So all the way from 1910 all the way to planes that are being flown here now.
Brownlee returned to the airport for a meet and greet yesterday to talk to the community members who were interested in her artwork.
But the opportunity to come back to this community that was so formative in my journey as an artist just felt really right to do, and I was excited to pursue that opportunity.
Brownlee's project has opened the door for other artists to come to the airport for future projects.
Yeah, I think the Airport Commission in the future is certainly going to continue to look at ways to connect with those non-aviation users of the community. Again, more art is certainly one of those ways to do it.
It's dynamic, really bright and vibrant piece of attention-grabbing art benefits the community and enhances the airport and shines a light on the important, work and operations that they're doing here. So I think public art is a gift and it's really important.
After the positive reaction from the public of Jenna's mural, the airport looks to bring in more artwork for the future. From Iowa City, Johnny Valtman, DITV.
A new building on campus will create a more collaborative atmosphere for writing students. DITV's Tara Gillespie has more on what this space brings those students.
The University of Iowa Nonfiction Writing House is now open and in use. Located on North Clinton Street, students can attend classes, seminars, and workshops at the house, as well as utilize their new digital storytelling lab for podcasts and visual essays. The program was previously located in the English Philosophy Building, but now writing students have their own space for their work.
There is a sense of excitement and pride to have such a beautiful, new, dedicated space that's just for them.
About 70% of university alumni in the writing program donated to this building, allowing it to become the first privately funded building on campus. The program's building was fundraised by writers for writers.
We will see that reflected in the types of projects that our students take on and the size of their ambition going forward as they're able to kind of see nonfiction in all of its forms that you can see once you're in proximity to others in the community.
The program looks forward to using the space for group readings throughout the semester and collaborative digital work in the spring. From the University of Iowa, Tara Gillespie, DITV.
On Wednesday, Dr. Lisa Schultmore visited Iowa City as a guest speaker. Dr. Schultmore is an ecologist currently studying the relationship between agriculture and forestry. For her lecture, she also sat down with KRUI and the Daily Iowan for sharing her thoughts on ecology and climate change.
I'm always going to sort of say, collaboration is absolutely critical. That said, we all need to do our part at the same time, right? The stakes are high. Like we have one chance to get this right. And unless we are collaborating, we're going to be moving forward on assumptions that just are incorrect, right?
Her lecture on Wednesday focused on collaboration and education in relation to the environment. Now, I know that the Hawkeye football team is on a bye week this week, but it still seems like there's some information coming out that a lot of people are paying attention to with the Hawkeye football team.
Yeah, Ashley, with it being the bye week, fans still have football on their mind. Cade McNamara recently announced via his Instagram that he's returning for the 2024 campaign. McNamara underwent a successful surgery after an ACL tear in his left leg at the beginning of the Michigan State game. Before transferring from Michigan, he had surgery just last year for significant knee injury in his right leg. In 4 full starts, Cade has a 51.1 completion percentage and averaged 101 yards per game, while throwing a total of 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And the Iowa football team gets a break after last week's game against Minnesota. The Hawkeyes are enjoying their bye week and taking advantage of the extra time off.
For me personally, my birthday's on Sunday, so I'm going to just enjoy this time with friends. My puppy's at home waiting on me. Heard he got a great gift for me. So spend this off time with him and, just relax, recover, get ready for the rest of the season.
Yet the football team is still hard at work and looking to fix problems for the remaining 4 games of the season.
We're just going through all the games, trying to see where we're at and how close we are to making some plays and seeing where we can get better at pass game, run game, blocking with the receiver and stuff like that. So this week is more just fine-tuning those details, getting all that individual work in, and instead we're going to the team working on all the things that we've been missing and lacking this season so far.
We're getting better every week. There's a hiccup. Last week was a hiccup, but we're moving on and we're just working on getting better. And this week is actually a really good week for that, just because we have no game. All we have to focus on is what we do. And
the Hawkeyes will face Northwestern next week in the Wrigley Special in Chicago. And the Iowa football team wasn't the only program that was impacted by the gambling scandal. 6 wrestlers were caught illegally gambling according to NCAA guidelines. Abe Assad, Nelson Brands, Tony Cassiapi, and Kobe Seabrick were all suspended for the entire season. while Patrick Kennedy and Colin Shriver were dealt a partial suspension. But since then, the NCAA has announced that it is going to revisit the cases of all the suspensions handed out to the Iowa student athletes. Here's what head coach Tom Brandt had to say about the situation.
November 8th, we're going to know more, and we're hopeful that we'll have a decision then. When you look at where we go from here now, it's about opportunities. It always is. You have to credit the NCAA leadership for trying to get it right. You credit our administration for standing by us. And this has never been an issue where these guys have not been accountable. They told the truth, they've been accountable, and let the punishment fit the crime.
The season officially opens on November 4th on the road against Cal Baptist and will host Oregon State for their home opener. And the Iowa women's basketball team prepares their official season. Two huge returning starters look to bring the team to the next level. I have more on the returning pair.
We have Gabby Marshall back, somebody that we weren't expecting to have back a year ago, and so that's really nice. She's returning for her 5th season of eligibility, and Gabby's been voted a team captain this year. She's a knockdown three-pointer. You saw her make 7 threes in the semifinal of the Big Ten Championship last year when we defeated Maryland. Without her, we probably wouldn't have been there.
In addition to the lockdown sniper, 6-year forward Kate Martin returns to the team, with many looking to her leadership to be a key factor in the team's goals for the season.
She's probably the best leader I've ever been around in my entire life. Maybe will be the best leader I've ever been around for my entire life. She just has every single person's back on this team. No matter if she's your best friend off the court, no matter if you don't really talk off the court, you know, she's gonna have your back every single day. And the thing about Kate is, like, she's competitively wired just like I am.
Kate is honestly one of the strongest leaders I've ever been around. She's a culture builder. She's playing like a pro right now. She really is. I think you're going to see Kate just jump off the stat sheet this year.
The Hawkeyes will return to Carver on November 6th against Farley Dickinson to open up the regular season. And the Iowa field hockey returns home this afternoon to honor 5 of their players for Senior Day. They have another major Big Ten opponent in 3rd-ranked Rutgers after just recently falling to 8th in the country, their lowest in the polls all season long. The Scarlet Knights enter Grant Field with a 15-1 record, with their lone loss coming in their most recent game against the Northwestern Wildcats. Iowa has 4 consecutive wins against Rutgers in field hockey, dating back to 2018. And Iowa volleyball also takes on the Scarlet Knights tonight. It'll be their gold-out game in Extreme Arena, and Rutgers are 1-9 so far in Big Ten play this year. They rank only 2 spots ahead of Iowa in conference standings. And if you can't make that one, just shake it off, because they are back at it again Saturday for Taylor Swift Night against Maryland. The Terps are 4-6 in Big Ten play and lead the conference in total team blocks. The last time these two teams matched up, Maryland took the match in 4 sets. And as seasons start to wrap up, Iowa soccer begins their quest in the Big Ten tournament as they travel to 12th-ranked Michigan State in the quarterfinals. Iowa sneaks into the Big Ten tournament as the 8th seed, while Michigan State holds the top rank in the conference. It was just this past Sunday that the two last faced, with the Spartans taking that game 3-0. Iowa has not defeated a top 15 opponent since October 2nd of 2022.
Now, David, I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to that volleyball game, the Taylor Swift night. I don't know if you heard, but 1999 Taylor's version did come out last night, and I don't know if you listened, but it's good.
You know, Ashley, this whole time I've been a secret Swiftie, and I actually listened to the album this morning, and I'm ready to embrace my role as a full-on Swiftie.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Welcome
Ashley.
to the club.
Oh, thank you, Ashley.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning in to DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM.
Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all the latest news between Monday and Friday, and check out more of our content on the Daily Iowan YouTube page or dailyiowan.com/DITV. For DITV News, I'm David Consuelos.
And I'm Ashley Wheel. Have a fantastic Friday.